What kind of man walks away from power given by the Pope just to keep the peace? What kind of bishop gives up a cathedral seat after years of preparation, prayer, and pain, without bitterness, without a fight? His name is Peter Ebere Okpaleke. And this is the story of the Nigerian bishop who chose peace over power. Peter Okpaleke and his twin brother Paul were born on March 1st, 1963, in a small quiet town in Anambra State, Nigeria. Just a village boy raised with deep faith, discipline, and the kind of humility you don't see very often. From the start, Peter wasn't chasing greatness. He was chasing God. He studied hard, entered seminary in 1983 at Bigod Memorial Seminary, where he spent nearly a decade immersed in philosophy and theology. He was ordained a priest in 1990, quietly serving in parishes, universities, finance offices, and diocesan boards. No scandals, no noise, just faithful, steady service. And then, in 2012, Rome called. Pope Benedict XVI appointed him Bishop of Ahira. A big moment, a holy moment, a kind of thing that comes after a lifetime of silent preparation. But what happened next, no one saw coming. From the moment his name was announced, resistance began to rise. Why? Because he wasn't from Mbise. The people of Ahira, priests and laity, wanted a bishop from their own ethnic group. To them, that mattered more than his years of sacrifice, more than his integrity, more than the call of the Holy Father. They rejected him openly, not because he was unworthy, but because of where he was born. Imagine being called by the Pope himself, but not allowed to enter your own cathedral. His consecration had to take place outside the diocese in Owerri. It was supposed to be a celebration, but instead it felt like exile. For years, Bishop Okpaleke lived in limbo. A bishop with nowhere to sit, a shepherd without a flock. Every attempt to bring peace failed. letters, dialogues, even a papal ultimatum in 2017. Accept him or be suspended. Still, the protests continued. It wasn't just painful, it was humiliating. But Bishop Okpaleke never lashed out, never called names, never fought dirty. He prayed, he waited, he suffered silently. Until one day, in 2018, he did the unthinkable. He resigned. He wrote a letter to the Holy Father saying, "My staying is causing division in the church. Then I'll step aside for the sake of unity." He could have fought. He had every right to. But he chose peace. And in that moment, what looked like weakness became holiness. 2 years later, in 2020, something beautiful happened. Pope Francis created a brand new diocese, Ekwulobia, in Anambra State, Nigeria, and he appointed Peter Ebere Okpaleke as its first bishop. This time, there were no protests, no locked doors, no rejection, only joy. On April 29th, 2020, Okpaleke was installed, finally, as bishop. But God wasn't finished just yet. In 2022, Pope Francis elevated him to the College of Cardinals, one of the highest honors in the Catholic Church. This man, once rejected by his own, was now a prince of the Church. In 2025, he would sit in the Sistine Chapel and cast his vote in the election of Pope Leo XIV. From a forgotten corner in Nigeria to the center of the Catholic world. That's what grace can do. Cardinal Okpaleke's story isn't just about church politics. It's about something deeper. It's about a man who was wronged but chose forgiveness, who was humiliated, chose humility, who was pushed aside, chose to kneel and pray rather than push back. He showed us real strength is not in fighting for power, but in surrendering it when the church needs peace. He showed us that obedience to God sometimes means letting go of what you think you deserve. And maybe, most of all, his story reminds us that the path to true greatness often passes through rejection, pain, and silence. So the next time you feel overlooked, misunderstood, or rejected, remember the Nigerian bishop who chose peace over power. And remember what God did with his yes. Because in the end, Peter Okpaleke didn't lose anything. And we gained a living lesson in what it means to be truly Catholic.